Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Rail Trail Flatbread Company, a casual American dining experience specializing in an all-scratch-made kitchen featuring wood-fired flatbreads, an inviting atmosphere for the whole family to enjoy. And we come to you live once again from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. Rentschler Biopharma, the proud sponsor of our broadcast booth across all of our sports coverage. Rentschler Biopharma is a global contract development and manufacturing organization specializing in biopharmaceuticals and advanced therapies. We take pride in contributing to nearly 25% of FDA-approved biopharmaceuticals in 2023. Rentschler Biopharma, reliability you can trust. Action getting underway here under the lights on the turf field in our final girls soccer coverage of the season. And Milford right off the opening kick gives themselves a scoring opportunity with Olivia Baglione putting that one on goal. And the save made. So an early surge on offense for the Scarlet Hawks, where goals at times through this stretch of the season have been hard to come by. This ball is now going to roll free towards the defensive side of the field, and Alexa Landry, to put that ball out of play. I am Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet with you on the call as we settle into the coverage here this evening. Some evening soccer for you as now Sharon takes this ball in and is going to pop it past Chloe Murdoch, and offensive action up and down the field in the opening minute of play, and it is Sharon who is going to take a 1-0 lead. And so that looked to be number 18 for Sharon. That is their scoring leader, Autumn Simon, the senior, grabbing a goal here again just under a minute into this first half action. And right after Milford nearly scored on the opening kick, so not even a chance to catch our breath and settle into the action as Sharon will take a 1-0 lead. And so for Milford, hoping to get off to a good offensive start, instead they will have to play from behind. Action now across the middle of the field. Again, I'm Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet with you on the call this evening. Patrick Garapi manning our cameras. A crisp fall feel to the air as we settle into this action under the lights here. It is senior night for the Milford girls, celebrating their seniors prior to the start of this game tonight. And now it is the Eagles bringing the ball up the far side of the field before the Milford defense sends it out of play. All the seniors out there in the starting lineup to open this game tonight. And now Murdoch having to go into a dive just outside the far post to keep that ball out of play, and it'll be a corner kick chance here for the Eagles. Coming in from the far corner, not a lot of breeze down at field level. You can see those flags pretty motionless at the corners. This ball streaks in past Murdoch, who looked to swat it away. This is going to roll all the way towards the near side, and Sharon tried to keep it alive, but that ended up going out of play. And Milford will try to break it out now down the near sideline. Paige Calden trying to save it from going out of play, but that goes out right by the trainer's cart. Still 37 minutes and change on the clock as we get settled in for first half action. And now a quick shot in on goal from Ava Baglione, who had a goal in Milford's most recent game, which came here at home last Thursday against Foxborough. Another tough loss for the team. They were able to score a couple of goals. They held leads at 2 different points in that game, but just could not finish things off, including allowing a goal to Foxborough in the closing seconds to give the Warriors a comeback win. And so that stretched the losing streak out to 6 games for the Scarlet Hawks. That loss to Foxborough just the second time during that span that Milford has managed to score more than one goal. The offense has been hard to come by, and to add frustration to it for Milford last week, they did hold leads in both of their home games last week. Against Taunton on the 8th, they scored first in the opening 5 minutes of the game. They scored first early against Foxborough as well. They also held a lead in the second half, but both of those games, Milford couldn't tack on to the lead and ultimately allowed their opponent to come back and take a victory. So still stuck on 3 wins on the season, hoping to make it 4 here with a win on senior night, but not an easy opponent here in Sharon. Despite this being Sharon's first time in the Kelly Rex division this season, they have been holding their own. They're at 500 on the year at 5-5-1. That's good for 4th place in the Kelly Rex standings. Milford at 3-8 find themselves in 6th place. The second meeting of these two teams on the season, as Sharon looks to move ahead into the box with speed, sending that ball on goal, but knocked down and held on to by Murdoch. Can't quite remember if it was last season or a couple of years ago, but a recent senior night for this Milford team in which the team was trying to decorate before the game during just torrential rainfall throughout the entire night. It was not very kind conditions, so a much better feel for senior night here tonight. A little bit cool, although we do expect warmer temperatures to return later on in the week, in particular for when football takes the field again here this Friday. But again, all in all, it has been a tremendous fall season weather-wise. Have not had to deal with any postponements or any really cold and unpleasant weather. Certainly helped things out for these outdoor teams. Milford trying to clear this ball out. Kay Pellegrini sends it out of play along the far side of the field. Lights on here in Milford with the last bits of sun fading away off into the distance. Nice evening overall. Goal from Autumn Simon giving Sharon an early lead after Olivia Baglione nearly struck for an early score on the other end of the field. Milford attacking from right to left across your screens in first half action. Still in the opening 10 minutes of the first half. Kicking off the first of 3 straight games that we will feature here on Milford TV as we close out this week. Out here for girls soccer tonight. We'll be in the gym tomorrow night for girls volleyball action against King Philip, and then we'll close out the week with the football team trying to get right as they host their Sharon counterparts here on the Milford turf on Friday night. Milford in very unfamiliar territory, the football team that is. Under 500 here at this late juncture in the season at 2-3. Have not been able to muster more than a single touchdown in their last 3 consecutive games, so work to do for the football team. Work to do for this girls soccer team as well, as they trail 1-0 with 32 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first half. Esther trying to get into the action there on that play, but Sharon able to bring it upfield, and now the whistle will come against the Eagles. Sent downfield by the freshman Juliana Senna. Carried into the box, now left behind by Baglione, and Sharon able to poke it free. Hard ricochet, stays inbounds along the far sideline. Milford a chance to send it back in from Maya Santos, just out of the reach of Kyla Nashawati. And now Olivia Baglione trying to force the issue. And a whistle will give possession over to the Eagles. Possession starting off well for Milford, but no shots on goal as the Scarlet Hawks continue to trail 1-0, but now back on the attack. Ava Baglione trying to get to that ball in time. Partial clear for the Eagles. And now past Santos and down the length of the field where Senna will track it down and will have to play it out of bounds. Now this ball looped in softly from long range. That shot taken, I believe, by Sofia Melpignano. My apologies if that pronunciation is not quite accurate. Good ball sent in by the Eagles here. Again, Senna is able to win the foot race, tracking down to the corner. Ball goes out of play. No, not quite out of play. Senna able to send it upfield for Olivia Baglione. Now going out of play and a chance for Milford to get the toss in. And we'll get some of the non-seniors activated in this game now. Among them, we'll see Chloe Pierce and Kaylee Turtelot enter the game. Nashawati loses this ball. It trickles out of play off of Sharon. Kyla will toss it in herself, finding Chloe Pierce, trying to weave her way around a defender, but the ball will go out of play once again. The last win for the Scarlet Hawks came in that early stretch of the season. 3 wins in their first 5 games. That last victory came on September 19th. So nearly a month ago. As Pierce tries to keep this ball alive, gets a shove down to the turf and didn't hear the whistle, but evidently the whistle did come in, giving Milford a free kick here with 29 minutes and 10 seconds on the first half clock. Senna on the free kick. Off into the near corner. Turtelot there. Ball will squirt out, and Milford will get the corner kick chance. Their first of the match. Pierce to take the kick. Drops down just out of the reach of Turtelot, and Sharon is able to clear it out. Senna whiffing on a chance to drive it back onto the attacking side, now has to turn upfield. And the ball ultimately ends up out of play. Juliana Senna, certainly a good foundational piece for this team for the next several years to come. The lone freshman that's gotten meaningful minutes on this varsity team this season, the only freshman listed on the roster. On this junior heavy roster, so a lot of continuity on this roster for next season. We'll roll through the list of seniors on the roster as the broadcast goes along. We certainly want to recognize all of the seniors, as we do believe this will be our final girls soccer coverage of the season. Kay Pellegrini will get a rest on the sideline here with 27:19 on the clock. Goal kick for Milford and then dumped right back in by the Sharon Eagles. Got to give a lot of credit to the Sharon programs. In their first season moving up to Kelly Rex Division competition, something that Milford certainly felt the growing pains in a lot of their programs as they made the transition from the Davenport to the Kelly Rex. It's been a struggle for the Sharon football team, but a lot of the other programs very competitive, in particular these girls and boys soccer programs. The boys right now 7-2-3 on the season in a tie with Milford for second place in the boys soccer rankings, and this Sharon girls team, as we mentioned, in fourth place coming into today at 500 on the season. Ball stolen away by some good footwork from Caitlin Kernan. towards the far sideline, kept alive by the Eagles, and now Milford will boot it downfield. Now Sharon taking the ball in deep, getting past the defense. Murdoch will guide that ball out of play, but it will be another corner kick chance for Sharon, coming here at the 25-30 mark in the first half. Sharon with a goal 57 seconds in to give themselves a 1-0 lead. Now an opportunity presenting itself here as this ball comes in from the far corner. Plenty of height. Milford able to redirect it out with the header. Now back in from distance, and another goal for the Eagles. I believe that was Autumn Simon again. Indeed, number 18 in white with her second goal. Milford made initial contact with that ball on a header, trying to send it out of the box, but it ended up right at the feet of Simon. And so already a brace for the Sharon scoring leader with still 24 minutes and change to go in the first half. Sharon staying aggressive. Ball sent back to the middle, cleared out by Kernan, and now back once again to the Milford defense. Out of the reach of Turtelot. And now back to Autumn Simon. Nashawati able to briefly get a hold of that ball at midfield, and now it'll take a roll out of play. The most up-to-date stats for scoring on the season for the league, perhaps we'll get to it in a moment, as Milford finds themselves in trouble again. This time Alexa Landry able to get the clear. But the last updated stats had Autumn Simon at 6 goals. I have a feeling those stats might be a bit stale. But regardless, 2 tonight for Simon. This girls' team has really been making a push of late. Milford trying to make a push of their own here out of the corner. An opportunity here. The ball trickles away from the keeper. Milford trying to jam away, and Sharon is able to clear it out. Sophomore keeper Angela Bazzuto in some trouble there, but Milford could not capitalize. Meanwhile, a corner kick chance with 22:45 on the clock. Sharon scoring off their last corner kick just a couple of minutes ago. And again, this ball in trouble. Milford able to pop it out of harm's way. Kaylin Kernan now in a race to the corner. She slides. Both players a bit slow to get back to their feet, but now get back into the play as the ball goes out on the far side. Tossed in for the Eagles. And sent back out of play again. Action got underway so quickly in this game, we didn't have a chance to give an acknowledgement to our live viewers for this one, as Murdoch steps in and grabs that ball out of the air. As far as our local broadcast tonight. We're live exclusively on our Verizon High Definition channel, our educational channel, currently occupied with the Milford High School Building Committee meeting, which is taking place over at Town Hall. We'll keep an eye on that feed. When that meeting wraps up, we'll pop our sports coverage over on our educational channel. But of course, we're also live on our YouTube channel as well. So hopefully everyone looking to tune into the live coverage tonight was able to find it. And as always, happy to have all of our live viewers with us, however you're tuning into the coverage. About to reach the midway point in this first half action. Already a 2-goal hole for Milford to dig their way out of. And now Ava Baglione, a chance to step ahead of the defense. Trying to roll that ball in with some finesse. Will it cross the goal line? Yes, it does. Just enough to give Ava Baglione her second goal in consecutive games, her third overall on the season. And Milford gets on the board. They cut the deficit to 2-1. Baglione making that happen with her speed. She had the defense closing in from behind. Bizzuto came far out of net to try to cut down the angle, but a little touch shot from Ava had just enough on it to get it in for the score. And so now 2-1. And Sharon a chance to score right back. They had a shot come in, glance off the near post. And Milford able to clear it out. Bedlam here as Sharon had an open look at the net. That ball took a hop off the far post and somehow stayed out of the net. And Milford was able to clear it out. So wild action in that last sequence. Again, the score for Ava Baglione to make it a 1-goal differential on the scoreboard with 19 and a half minutes to play in the first half. Meanwhile, Paige Calden, the senior, checking back into the game. Chloe Pierce back to the bench. So Ava Baglione now in sole second place position in scoring on the team with now 3 goals. Kyla Nashawati, the scoring leader, with 9 goals on the season. Both Ava and Kyla scored in that game against Foxborough last Thursday. Unfortunately, was not enough in a 3-2 defeat. Senna trying to feed this ball ahead toward Calden. And evidently contact initiated by Paige. And Sharon will have the free kick. Ball pushed forward. Talia Seri turning on the Jets to send that ball out of play. Seri will give way to Juliana Senna for the free kick. Dumped back in by the Eagles. Trying to push it in again towards Autumn Simon, but that pass intercepted. Now Senna again clearing it out. Ball goes out of play. They'll give Sharon the toss in at midfield. Alexa Landry perched there waiting to check back into the game. as Turtelot gets a shove in the back right by Milford head coach Lou Colabello, wondering about the lack of call, and it's been growing frustration for Coach Colabello with the officiating, especially in this last week stretch. We were not covering the game against Foxborough last Thursday, but we heard there were some fireworks that erupted due to a pretty egregious non-call. Saw some frustration with the officiating in Milford's loss to Taunton last week as well, a game that we did cover for you here on Milford TV. Tossing deep on the attacking side here for the Eagles, and Milford has to send it back out of play. Just over 16 minutes on the first half clock. And now Murdoch with a chance to clear things out. Kernan able to win that ball and send it upfield in the direction of Nashawati. This one will roll out of play. And Milford looking for the quick toss in, but now slowing up the tempo. Looking for Baglione. But that ball ends up over the goal line. It'll be a goal kick for the Eagles. This Sharon team has been playing well, especially of late. They've taken away points in their last 4 straight games and 5 out of 6. Their only loss in that span was a tough 6-2 loss to Oliver Ames back on September 26th, but they have not lost since the calendar flipped to October. Getting better and better as the season has gone on. It's a rough start for the Eagles, losses in 4 out of their first 5 games, but they've really turned it around since then. A little over 14 minutes remain. Sharon will toss it in just to the right of the Milford bench. Decent amount of space there initially for Sharon, but Milford able to clear it out. Page Calden keeping it in play along the near sideline, now trying for a centering pass. A good adjustment for the Sharon defense. And now Turtelot slides in to knock that ball out of play. And now the Sharon coaching staff unhappy with the officiating. Not a lot of whistles in this half so far, letting a lot go. Sharon under the direction of head coach Becca Borbley. Sharon carrying in with speed. This ball will sneak in free, but no one there. Murdoch able to pick it up uncontested. Beautiful full moon rising above the trees beyond the visitors' bleachers. I'm sure at the next pause in the action, our camera operator, Patrick Garapi, will get an image of that. .5 minutes to go in the first half as this ball will once again go out of play. Sharon able to take control in the center circle. Senna with a looping ball over towards the near sideline, and Turtelot plays it out of bounds. Ava still with that bulky cast on her right forearm. But it's been getting more and more comfortable as the season has gone on. Again, now 2 goals in her last 2 games. Getting Milford on the scoreboard here. Still a 2-1 score. Sharon in front. As we get closer to the 10-minute mark. This ball sent in deep. Kernan the first one there and able to angle it to the keeper. Nice play from Kernan. This ball rolls free. Nashawati able to play it ahead. And then plays that bounce well, able to center this ball up. Turtle out there. And this one will deflect away. Maya Santos now trying to push it back in, but that's off target and out of play. A quick burst there for the Scarlet Hawks. Nashawati doing a nice job along the far sideline. Played a deflection off the defender and able to send a ball in on target towards Kaylee Turtelot. Couldn't get an angle on goal. Not a ton of offensive chances for Milford in this half, but they've had a handful of plays where they've made things interesting. Of course, in particular, the goal scored by Baglione with a little over 20 minutes remaining in the half. That ball over the reach of Kernan. Players getting tangled up. Sharon lobbying perhaps for contact in the box, but no whistle. And Milford will send this ball along the far sideline, taken over in the center circle by the Eagles. Now Baglione pushing ahead, and Nashawati just a little early on the release. See the frustration. Timing usually so good for Nashawati, but that time got a step ahead. Called for the offsides. Landry with a boot across the middle, angled along with a creative header by Nashawati, but then sent out of play along the far side of the field. We'll get a trio of subs in for Milford. Looking like this Milford team is at full strength for tonight. Couple of Milford players down. Whistle does come in. But it'll be against Milford, so free kick for the Eagles. Penny Wooden, a sophomore, lining up for the free kick. Toss in coming up for the Eagles, Leah Steinberg. And in on a line, grabbed by Murdoch. Kernan straight up the middle, could not quite get it to Nashawati. And it's now Sharon called for the offsides. Autumn Simon a little ahead. Olivia Baglione over by the far sideline. She'll have a chance to toss it back in. Guns it towards Nashawati. She picks it up on the go. Now ball rolling back towards the corner. A couple of defenders in tight on Kyla as that ball goes out of play. Milford will get the corner. Getting late in the first half. Milford trying to tie this game up. A good ball here for Kernan, trying to use the shoulder to send that ball in. And somehow Sharon is able to get the clear. Milford had all kinds of bodies there right on the doorstep. Kernan may have had the best chance as she elevated, tried to direct that ball in with the right shoulder. But Sharon able to keep it out. And Milford now will send this ball in deep. Turtelot, point blank range. And they'll say she was offsides. Milford applying some late pressure in the half. Calden over the middle, trying to fight for possession. And dump back in, Nashawati trying to stay on sides. Now it's Olivia Baglione along the sideline. She will toss back in. Final 5 minutes of this first half playing out. Milford with some momentum. Milford trying to bring that ball out from the corner. Again, another corner kick chance. So each team has had 3 corner kick opportunities. We've seen a Sharon goal off of a corner kick in this half. It's Turtelot trying to direct this ball in, but it's held on to by Angela Bizzuto, the Sharon keeper. And Sharon will call a late timeout here, so we've got less than 5 minutes to go in the half. And Milford has definitely started to seize the momentum here, trying to translate it into a goal that would tie this game up. But right now the Sharon coaching staff wanting to try to make some late adjustments in this half. And so just as we expected, Patrick Garapi with some creative camera work up on top of the press box, getting some images of that full moon off in the distance. Beautiful night here in Milford, senior night for the Milford girls. So as we run down the roster, just acknowledging all of the seniors on the team. Again, still a low amount of seniors overall on this roster. Paige Calden, Olivia Baglione, Maya Santos, Esther Leite, Caitlin Landry, Alexa Landry, and Kay Pellegrini. Everyone having a chance to take some photos with their families before this game, getting acknowledged out on the field, and all the seniors out on the field to start this game. Always an emotional game for these players that have been part of the program for the last 4 years. Hard-fought first half between these two teams. We've seen A couple of points in this half where the action has been frantic. Just a moment or two ago, a couple of really good chances for Milford up close to the Sharon net. But so far, only the one goal in the half scored by Olivia Baglione. On the other side, it's the senior Autumn Simon with 2 goals. And so a close one here with less than 5 minutes remaining. And now back out of the timeout. Goal kick for Bizzuto. Read well by Ava Baglione, but angles that kick right over to Sharon's Ashlyn Kelleher. Now collected back in by Baglione, sends this ball too far out in front of Nashawati, and Bizzuto was able to clear it out. Now a deep ball, potential trouble here, but Murdoch able to sniff it out, keeping that ball out of the reach of Linda Jenner, a Sharon freshman. Baglione, a little chip ahead, angled back towards the middle of the field, out of Nashawati's reach. And now Turtelot will pop this one straight up in the air. Took a tricky hop, but just out of Nashawati's reach yet again. Now Calden will center it up for Nashawati, and over towards the near side of the field, out of play. Tossin will come for the Eagles. Senna tries to deliver this ball back onto the attacking side, but Sharon clears it out. Now some trouble here brewing, and a score. Kernan racing to try to catch up, but an uncontested look on net, and the 3rd goal of this half for Autumn Simon. So that takes some of the wind out of the sails for Milford, who had been coming on strong here over this last 10-minute stretch. Could not find the equalizer, and it's Simon again who's able to get on the score sheet. 3 first-half goals. And so Sharon re-establishes their 2-goal lead. Ahead now for Calden. Trying to angle around a defender, and she gets taken down hard, and Milford will get a free kick. Time running out in this half. Milford down once again by 2. A lot of action on that ball as it curled back to the near post. Out of play, it will go as a toss-in. That ball died before it went out by the corner. So instead of a corner kick, Milford will toss it in. Angled back towards the middle. Kernan able to slow the progress. But now Sharon back across the middle. And quickly getting numbers upfield. Kernan has to slide in. Send the ball out on the far sideline, and that will finish things out here in the first half. So Milford threatened a couple of times to tie the score. They couldn't get it done, and then Autumn Simon finishes off a first half hat trick. And so Sharon will take a 3-1 lead into halftime. So if you're joining us on the live coverage, hang tight for the next 10 minutes. And again, we want to acknowledge our Milford TV sports coverage is brought to you in part by Unibank. Unibank, big bank know-how, community bank attitude. We also want to acknowledge our broadcast booth sponsor, Rentschler Biopharma. Coming to you from the Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. Rentschler Biopharma, your reliable CDMO partner, and of course our presenting sponsor for Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV is the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Hang tight through the intermission. We'll be back with second half action in just a few short minutes here on Milford TV. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV is presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company, where kids eat free throughout the entire month of October every weekend. Every weekend in October, kids will receive a single pancake of their choosing at brunch. So kids eat free pancakes at brunch special going on all October long at Rail Trail Flatbread Company. We're so appreciative of our presenting sponsor, Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Also coming to you live from the Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth as we settle into second half action in this girls soccer matchup between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the visiting Sharon Eagles. Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet with you on the call. We gave you some up-close looks at the near supermoon that's been rising off in the distance, as this ball gets centered up just out of the reach of Nashawati, dealt back in by Milford. And now Caitlin Kernan tries to curl it back into the box. And it's sent out of play, as Milford gets a quick surge here as we settle into second half action. It's been a better look to the offense for Milford here tonight. We saw the goal scored by Ava Baglione early in the first half. Had a lot of chances late. Unfortunately, could just not get anything into the back of the net. And also having to contend with Autumn Simon, the leading scorer for Sharon, who scored all three Eagles goals in the first half. A hat trick for the senior to give the Eagles a 3-1 advantage. But Milford trying to apply some pressure here right out of the gates in the second half, as Milford now looks to attack from left to right across your screens here in second half action. Sharon gathers back to the middle of the field, and now it's Simon looking to start the attack straight up the middle. Able to get past Ava Baglione. And now Alexa Landry able to slow things up and then deliver a pass ahead towards Paige Calden. Trying to get free of a defender. Olivia Baglione in support, and now pushed up ahead for Ava Baglione, but she was offsides. Now back ahead to Simon again. This time Juliana Senna able to pick her pocket. This ball then comes back in towards Chloe Murdoch, but it squirts just to the outside of the far post and goes out of play. Things develop so quickly when the ball gets on Simon's foot. Two seasons ago, this Sharon team earned a spot in the MIAA tournament. Last year, a down year for the program. Ended up finishing in 6th place in the Davenport division standings in their last year in Davenport competition. Last year, the Eagles ended up going 3-11-2 overall on the year. But already 5 wins on the season this year. Still in the opening 5 minutes of this second half. Carried across the middle by the Eagles' Sofia Melpignano. And contact in the box. This ball will roll out of play along the near sideline. The middle, it's Nashawati. Talia Seri couldn't get back to that ball. Now Chloe Murdoch will come to the edge of the box. This ball deflects over towards the corner. Chloe able to reset. And now Ava Baglione trying to get to that ball just in front of the Sharon bench. It goes out of play, and the Eagles will toss back in. Talia trying to defend. Ava now getting an elbow up high. That draws the whistle. .33 minutes and 6 seconds remain. Milford falling to 6th place in the Kelly Rec standings last week after their loss to the Tigers, the Taunton Tigers, who had previously been in that 6th place position. Milford able to navigate that ball out of harm's way. Sharon will line up for a free kick with 32:07 on the second half clock. Sharon leading Milford 3-1. As They keep this ball low to the ground, picked up by Simon, able to get through a couple of defenders, now has a teammate streaking into the near post, but that ball ends up out of play. That time Simon looking to be the facilitator in the action, as she had Esha Seau right at the near post, but that ball goes out, and it stays a 3-1 score. Milford, after an early opportunity, has not had much since. Sharon controlling possession here for much of this opening 10 minutes. Getting cooler now as we get later into the evening. Any remaining sun is long gone. It's now cooled down to 48 degrees. Loose ball up the far sidelines. Nashawati trying to get there. Goes out of play, but Kyla ends up delegating the toss. For trying to keep this ball in on the attack, doesn't get through to Nashawati there, and Sharon able to send it out back towards center. Juliana Senna trying to cheat in on that ball, but Sharon will clear it. And just enough on it to get into the box for Murdoch to pick it up. We will have our long overdue reunion with the boys soccer team coming up for you next week. We'll have boys soccer coverage for you on Thursday next week, October 24th. As the boys take on Franklin, that should be a fun matchup. As this ball comes in to Murdoch, and again, she's able to handle it cleanly. So we'll have boys soccer and football back-to-back on the schedule for you next week. And then we'll also have one final regular season game in the last week of October on Monday, October 28th, in what I believe will be the boys' senior night game as they host the Taunton Tigers. Right now the boys soccer team jockeying for playoff position as they have held on to at least a share of second place in their Kelly Rec standings for much of the season. They're just 2 points behind Franklin, so when we have that matchup against the Panthers next week, there'll be potentially a lot on the line. This ball rolls into the box. Olivia Baglione there. She sends it out. That'll be a toss-in, so shy of the corner there. Sharon will toss it back in. 28 minutes. A little over 28 minutes to go in the second half as Milford whiffs on the clear. Allows Sharon to regroup. Kelleher bringing this ball in, and now Olivia Baglione will just guide it out of play. Baglione trying to win that foot race. The ball goes out of play. Isabella Lacerbo checking in on the field. Santos trying to get good positioning. Alexa Landry with the ball at her feet. Now Santos able to pick it up. Tries to send a softball through the middle of the field, but it's picked up by the Eagles, and running room up the near sideline for Jessica Lee. Landry stays close, ball centered up, just out of the reach. A couple of players on the doorstep for Sharon. In particular, I believe it was number 24, Matilda Siscato, who had a good look right in front of Murdoch, but the ball spun across the goal mouth to the far side of the field. Milford now trying to break it out, but Lee will settle it down and send it back ahead for the Eagles. Serbo can't keep that ball in play. Sharon will get a toss in, but first, a couple of players return to the field, including Paige Calden for Milford, who will replace Olivia Baglione. Milford with a goal kick. Crowd quiet for the time being. A larger crowd for this night game. Also, a lot of the families here for senior night. So it's been a fun atmosphere. Milford will get a free kick here. Ava Baglione lines it up. The Milford goal scorer so far on the night. Since that one just a little bit too far out of the reach of Nashawati. Turns back after the play for a quick exchange with Milford head coach Lou Colabello. Landry gets this ball ahead to the near sideline. First Alexa, now Caitlin, and now Maya Santos trying to pick it up. But instead pushed back the other way by Eshaseo for Sharon. Now Jenner sends it back to the middle, the Sharon freshman. Back up into the center circle, Nashawati. Little push to the near sideline. And now the little shoulder check as that ball goes out of play. Nashawati with the toss down into the corner for Ava. She'll loop this across. And just out of the reach, Milford had a player at the post, but good positioning for the Sharon defense. I believe that was Isabella Lacerbo, who was right there at the far post, ready to jam that ball in. Sharon was able to deny. Ava with the toss in, finding Nashawati. She'll get it back now. This has been the best game we've seen on the season for Ava Baglione. She's made an impact all over the field, including scoring the lone Milford goal to this point on the night. 22:45 to go in the second half. Sharon scored the first two in the first half. Baglione's goal cut it to a one-goal deficit. For a time, it looked like Milford was positioned well to tie the game. But Autumn Simon completing the hat trick in the closing minutes of the half. And it's been those goals late in halves in the last few games for Milford that have really been backbreakers. Of course, in particular after Milford had a couple of leads against Foxborough last week. The game was tied late, and Milford allowed a goal just before time expired to give Foxborough the win in regulation. Brief pause in the action. Kaylee Turtelot being a good teammate, helping Ava Baglione retie the cleats. And now continuing on, a little over 21 minutes on the second half clock. No goals scored yet in this second half. Up for grabs for Esther. Uses the header to try to move it along. Now this ball popped into the box. Ava racing in, and it's pushed away by the Sharon keeper. And the Eagles able to keep it inbounds along the near sideline. Good footwork for Linda Jenner. And now options developing the other way for the Eagles. Juliana Senna able to knock the ball free, but Sharon carries back in. And now Alexa Landry has to push out of play along the far sideline. Sharon will toss it in. Ava Baglione along the near sideline. Cannot get around Matilda Ciscato. Ball bounces around out of Juliana Senna's grasp along the far sideline. Now Turtelot there. Lacerbo as well. And now sent in towards the far post. Chloe Murdoch holds on. .40 on the second half clock. Nashawati with a good ball ahead towards Ava Baglione if she can get there. And they'll say that that ball just did sneak out of bounds along the near sideline. Baglione pushing this ball up ahead, out of Calden's reach and smothered by Bizzuto. A lot of coats and blankets out in the crowd as it continues to get colder as this game continues on now. About 7:15 in the evening. Coming down to 17 minutes to play in the second half. No goals scored in the second half so far. So still a 2-goal lead for the Eagles. Shawadi, a little chip over to the near sideline. Baglione pushes it ahead. This will stay in bounds, but Sharon, they'll say that ball went out of play back around midfield. Pushed into the box, Murdoch with another easy scoop. That ball taking a bounce right onto the foot of Baglione, but she couldn't keep it in play. A lot of substitutions come in for Coach Colabello as we approach the 16-minute mark. Ava loops this ball ahead. Calden is there. Pizzuto can't hold on. Calden down in a heap as she tried to get out of the way with reinforcements in. The ball ended up across the goal line. It'll be a corner kick here for Milford. Fans back engaged as Ava Baglione takes the kick from the near corner. And redirected towards goal, but wide to the near side. And another opportunity goes by the boards. Still a 3-1 lead for Sharon. Milford was competitive against the Eagles when they played early on in the season. That was a game that, when I talked to Coach Colabello after the fact, he felt that the team gave away in the end. They had a lead. A lot of goals exchanged in that game. That was all the way back on September 10th in Sharon. The Eagles ended up winning it 5-3. It was Sharon's first win of the season. Kay Pellegrini wins this ball, tries to shoot it through towards Baglione. But now sent the other way. Pellegrini, the only player back deep for Milford. The whistle there we couldn't pick up in the press box. A free kick for Milford. Sent too strong down the near sideline and out of play. This will take us under 14 minutes to go. Hoping to get a Milford victory. We haven't been able to get a win out of the girls team in our previous coverage this season. Good ball here for Ava to Olivia Baglione, and Sharon able to do just enough to get that ball away. And now Sharon the other way. It's Juliana Senna, and she was able to do just enough to keep that ball from being on target. Goes tumbling out of play. Good hard effort from the freshman Juliana Senna. This ball loose into the near corner, picked up by the Eagles. Taliaseri gets to it. And now Ava will push back towards the middle of the field. Nashawati giving chase up the field. Sharon pushes out of play. Now back in to Ava, who will pop this one in towards the box. Nashawati trying to get an angle. Down the near sideline. Opportunity here for Rana Burcock. Milford clears it out. This will go up ahead to the Sharon keeper. Zudo holds on to it now as we go under 11.5 minutes on the second half clock. Knocked ahead by Senna, out of the reach of Milford. Now here is Sharon on another partial breakaway, and this time Murdoch was able to smother. Good play for Chloe. It was the freshman Linda Jenner who's had an impact here in the second half with a quick breakaway chance. But Murdoch able to make the save to keep it a 3-1 score. Back again to Chloe. Pushed along by Olivia Baglione. Ava angled out by the Eagles. And out of play around the center line. Pierce with the header, and this one goes screaming into the Milford bench. Less than 10 minutes to go in the second half. Milford running out of time. Trying to end this 6-game losing streak, but they'll need a flurry of offense here with less than 10 minutes to go. Pierce to Ava. And then sent back the other way. A dump in, and then the ball angled out. Taking a hop off of Coach Colabello. Here's Baglione trying to shoot this one in, but sends it behind the Sharon goal. And just a little over 8 minutes remain. The Eagles looking to jump over the 500 mark. After this game, Milford has 6 regular season games to go. That includes the long trip out to Martha's Vineyard on October 19th. This whistle goes against Sharon. To the near sideline and out of play. Milford will toss it in. Ava fighting for it. Sent back out. Kernan sees that ball go out of play. Again, out of the reach of Pierce, it goes out of play on the near sideline. Milford just has not been able to find the same kind of pressure that they were able to apply offensively in the first half. Sharon content to continue to let this clock wind down with the 2-goal lead. The player responsible for the Sharon lead, Autumn Simon, drives that ball deep downfield, goes out of play. Simon providing all of the offense on the Sharon side. Her first goal came just 53 seconds into the first half after Milford had a near strike off the opening kick. Sharon continues to carry possession with the clock about to reach the 5-minute mark. This will come in from deep. Murdoch makes sure that stays wide of the net. Coach Colabello continuing to cycle in personnel as the game clock now stands frozen at 5 minutes to go. So into the final stretch on this senior night for Milford. In danger of suffering their 7th consecutive loss. Back to Chloe Murdoch. Murdoch sending that one right on target towards Ava Baglione, but it takes a hop out of play. Pellegrini will toss back in. Baglione sending that one in from the corner. Deflected. Olivia Baglione in. And bouncing around at the goal mouth, and Sharon able to get it out of harm's way. Paige Calden was there. Pizzuto got her hands on that ball, could not secure it. Came back out in front with Calden just in front of the net. And now again, a hard deflection right at the goal. Another corner kick here to be taken by Ava. Nashawati angles it back in with the header, but good defensive support at the post for Sharon. Here's Calden, she dumps it in. Nashawati trying to send that ball out of play off of a Sharon body, but the Eagles get a partial clear. And now up the far sideline for the Eagles. Good play by Esther. Kernan Might have gotten some hard contact on the shin as this ball now comes in. Stopped by Murdoch, and Kernan still down. Not sure if she got kicked or what exactly transpired there. Certainly a cold night. That contact stings all the more, and Kernan down on the field as we have an injury timeout with less than 2 minutes to go, and perhaps a cramp here for Kernan as the training staff tries to get things sorted out. We'll take a quick injury timeout here on the broadcast. We'll close things out when we come back next. Sharon with a 3-1 lead on Milford. Coverage will resume in just a moment here on Milford TV. Kernan able to jog off the field with a smile on her face, so looks to be okay after the injury timeout. We're set to resume. Not much time left here as Milford trails by a couple. Caitlin Landry spun down as she tried to make a play. Landry up ahead, but Sharon there to claim it. Milford looking like they're just about out of gas. Guess I'll have to guard against a corner kick with just seconds left to go. As they're able to break things up. Action still in the box and scooped up by Murdoch. Pushed up ahead. A lot of steam on that ball. Olivia Baglione able to track it down. Tries to center it up, but this ball will trick a lot of play along the near sideline. Toss in for Ava Baglione as Milford tries to get one last look at the Sharon net, but that will do it. And so on this senior night, Milford ends up on the wrong side of a 3-1 final, so the Sharon Eagles able to sweep Milford in their 2-game regular season series. So a spirited effort for Milford throughout this game tonight, but just could not generate any offense here in the second half. So Sharon takes it with the win. The Eagles move over 500 on the season. They are now 6-5-1. Milford suffers their 7th consecutive loss. They are now 3-9 on the year. So we wish the Milford girls team the best of luck the rest of the way. Still a lot of sports action coming up this week on Milford TV. We'll be back with you tomorrow night in the Milford gym for girls volleyball action as Milford takes on King Philip. And of course, we'll will be out here on the turf field on Friday night for football action as Milford hosts Sharon with kickoff on Friday night at 7 p.m. We'll hope you'll join us for all of that action later on this week. But that'll wrap things up for tonight. A big thank you to Patrick Garapi manning the cameras up on top of the press box. And I am Tim Coed as we come to you live from the Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. We also want to thank Unibank for sponsoring our sports coverage. Unibank, big bank know-how, community bank attitude. And, of course, our presenting sponsor for sports coverage here on Milford TV is the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. That final score, one final time, Milford loses to Sharon by a final score of 3-1. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.